Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great response video. In this video, we were doing FitParry, talking about Looksmaxxing, and although I don't believe he uses the term, and I don't know, Looksmaxxing is, I think, an interesting subject, and he touches on um, some other stuff that I think is kind of interesting. So I thought this would be a good video to respond to. And then I mean, obviously, the kind of the elephant in the room is the Fit Perry is he describes himself as black pilled, but he's like really actually this weird combination of black pilled and red pilled because one of the because the black pill is, despite maybe what I myself have said in the past, is about more than just saying the main thing that attracts women is looks. I'm including height in there. Um, it's also that there isn't really anything you can do to improve your looks. I mean, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, um, and whereas he kind of takes the message of the black pill to say like, okay, well you should be more you should do stuff to improve your look. So it's kind of this weird combo of red pill, blue pill, and black pill all in one. Which I mean, it's cool. I think it's cool that people aren't being like orthodox and are using their own different spin on it. Um, I mean, like I said, I mean, I myself know that I'm not black pill orthodoxy, so not at all. So I think it's cool that even if it's they do it in ways that I don't agree, but it's like at some point though it gets to where I can't really consider him a true black pillar. I don't have a problem with him, but to me he feels more like a red pillar. It's just that he doesn't really have the anger issues towards women that you generally associate with it, and he doesn't have and Casey doesn't have anger issues towards women either, but at least not that I've noticed. But you could still call Casey red pilled because of his, I don't know, like delusion that it's all about work and stuff. So I guess he would say he's not as red pilled as Casey, not as black pilled as me. So he's like I said, he's red black. I don't even know what to describe him as. Um, and of course, there's like the this is not a Politico. I'm only doing this to talk about the FitParry's thoughts on Looksmaxxing, but we obviously you can't just ignore the international situation, and we know that now it's come out that the what do you call it, the casus belli would really um, push the whole invasion forward, and of Russia, Ukraine, and eliminated any possibility of a diplomatic solution. Was that um, Putin is a big FitParry fan, and he says that like that Putin was saying that FitParry is black pilled and gives a lot of good advice about how to attract women. And then Zelensky responded saying that he was. Let's see if I have a quote here. It says that um, FitParry is nothing but a manlet Asian cobra, and which is, I mean, first of all, I don't see what his race has to do with anything. Second of all, Zelensky himself is Jewish and is also like 5'7", so I don't think he should be going after anybody's race or going after their height. Um, so then Putin demanded that he retract what he said and apologize, and Zelensky refused. Um, but this is kind of like, even though I'm on Russia's side, like, for internal political reasons, just because I want to see Biden lose, this is like another thing of just how thin skinned red pillars are. No, I don't think Zelensky should have said what he said, but I understand where he's coming from. And this is like, like if it had been the reverse, would Zelensky have attacked Russia over it? No, because black pillars are okay with people disagreeing with us. We don't like the red pillars can think what they think, and we don't really care. We don't expect everybody to have the same views we do. But red pillars can't tolerate any dissent from their view. and which is why they're always trying to force their views on everybody else. But it shouldn't really be about, like I said, that's more to me just symbolic of the whole thing. I don't want to use it as like proof of anything one way or the other. I think it's proof of the psychology that dominates the both sides, but that not necessarily on the merits of their arguments. And that's what I want to talk about, the merits of the arguments. So let's get in to see what FitParry has to say about how I improve my physical attractiveness and how you can do the same. Um, I don't want to nitpick, but I'm going to nitpick, I guess. I don't think that first exclamation point needs to be there. I think it should be how I improve my physical attractiveness and how you can do the same. I agree there needs to be an exclamation point there, but I think the first exclamation point is extraneous.
People in today's society don't understand the importance of their physical appearance.
I disagree. I think that now we're more looks obsessed than we ever have been, and that that people understand it more than they ever have.
They don't understand that in every interaction, men and women are being swayed and influenced by their physical appearance.
Well, okay, I'm going to back off a little bit. Not so much today's society, but people in general, I would say less of an issue today, don't understand just how big a deal looks are, and not just with dating and stuff, but like in everything you do in life. Again, it's not the be all end all like the autistic black pillars will tell you, but it's way more important than normies realize.
Many people are not aware of this. If you look good, you can easily influence those around you. Many people are thinking about ways to become more confident.
Okay, so this is really what made me want to review the video. So you can see Don Draper there. What's the name of the guy? What's the name of the guy? Jon Hamm. And so we always talk about the meme of confidence, and I think Jon Hamm is like such a great example of it, because look at Jon Hamm. He could be the most confident guy in the world, or he could literally be the least confident guy in the world, and people would look at him and say, "Oh wow, that's a confident guy," just because of his facial structure. It's not just that he's handsome; it's that he's handsome in like such a masculine way, and that his facial structure just kind of exudes confidence. So even if he isn't actually confident, people are going to view him as confident. Um, Whereas it could be the other way around with I think where you can really notice it is with a lot of, like, if you ever see Buddhist monks, you go to videos and see Buddhist monks talking, and they have a real confidence, much more confident than somebody like Jon Hamm or The Rock, who have this kind of fake confidence. They have a real confidence, but they don't look as confident as the Jon Hamms of the world, simply because their faces don't have that structure.
One of the ways to become more confident is by having more love and respect for yourself.
No, I disagree. I think that's going to make you less confident. And as I say this as somebody who's been interested in confidence for really my entire life. I mean, maybe not when I was a tiny little kid, but after that. No, it's really not about that. And that's going to make you less confident because it's always going to be. It's hard for me to really explain it if you're not familiar with Buddhism, and I'm not a Buddhist, but they do get a lot of stuff right. And one thing in Buddhism is this idea of the no self or not self, and it's often misunderstood by retarded Western Buddhists as you literally don't exist, you literally don't have a self, which is, not only is it completely retarded, but it's like the exact opposite of what Buddha taught. Um, Rather, what it's about is not associating the things that you commonly interpret as yourself as being part of yourself. And those would be, like I said, it's the five aggregates. I can't remember what they are. They're physical form, mental states, senses, um, consciousness, and I always forget the fifth one. That's a whole different video. So the problem is that when you talk about like self-improvement to make you more confident, well, I think let's just take an example of like Looksmaxxing or lifting weights or stuff. That's all to basically to improve the physical form aspect. Nothing wrong with that. However, what you're doing is strengthening the false association of yourself, your true self, with your physical form. Now, coming from a black pill or even a standard Western uh, viewpoint, you would say, well, yes, but my physical form is part of myself. Yeah, I used to think that too. And it's hard to explain. You either kind of see it or you don't. And it's hard if you don't see it yourself. I mean, like, and we can talk in other videos if you want about how you stop seeing it that way. Um, Honestly, you're better you're better off not seeing it. But the thing is, but at the very least, what I would recommend, it's not even about I'm not recommending or not recommending anything. I'm really just trying to point something out, and I can tell this from my own experience. Anything you do to improve any of those aggregates, and let's just say physical form, because that's what black pillars and red pillars are usually talking about, is going to, since the connection isn't real, since first of all, it's impermanent and changing all the time anyway, which makes it kind of a futile thing to um, try to really improve and control because you don't really have control over it. But what you're doing is increasing that mental clinging. And it's that mental clinging that is going to cause distress and lack of confidence. And let me just give you like a thought experiment example. Think about like the biggest, like the ugliest, most beta looking guy you went to high school with. Maybe you're in high school yourself. You think about the ugliest beta looking guy. Think about that. Now imagine you switched bodies with him. Like you like one of those things in the movies where like you're like soul switch or something and you were inhabiting his body. Would you feel insecure about your appearance? No, no, you would not. Because you just would like if somebody was like, "Oh, hey, you're ugly, or you're scrawny, or you're short," you just wouldn't associate those things with you. You would be like, "Well, yeah, but they're not talking about me. They're talking about this guy whose body I'm inhabiting. They can say whatever the fuck they want about me. I don't care." So that's what I'm trying to like. That's true security. That's true detachment from it. And I guess that's where I'm kind of going with this. And again, and I can say from my own experience, I was much more insecure about my frame when I was lifting weights, when I was trying to improve my bulk. It was when I stopped lifting that it became something I kind of stopped thinking about and no longer valued as much. Now I don't value it at all, but that's a different thing. And I became much less insecure, and that which resulted in greater confidence. So, and you can apply it to anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical stuff, but you can apply it to any type of false sense or incorrect sense of self.
And treating yourself as first priority, and improving your physical attractiveness.
Okay, I gotta give the guy a little credit. I don't know how he did it, but he does seem like he kind of made his face a little bit more attractive. Not that it was bad in first, and maybe it's just the pictures, or maybe he just grew up a little. I don't know, or maybe it's just the hair. Um, but he did kind of successful. I mean, it's not like night and day, but his face does look a little bit, but slightly, but noticeably better than it did in the before pictures. So, and I think he talks a little bit about the end, like some skincare or whatever he's doing. I don't know if that shit actually works or not.
Is definitely respecting yourself. Confidence is not an act.
Now, you want to talk about confidence? I mean, tell you what, this guy has got some serious balls because I think he's, kind of handsome. And obviously, the work he's done on his physique is impressive. But having say that, there's a couple of things that especially on the internet are going to be going against them. One is that he's Asian. Now, I don't think that race shit matters. I don't think most people care about it anymore. But this is the internet where people are going to get on you about everything. So there's going to be people in his comments getting on him about his race. Two is he's good looking. I think even most black pillars. Well, okay, black pillars are so autistic. I wouldn't even believe it. I think most people would agree he's handsome. I knew that with the other guy I was talking about in those previous videos. I knew most people were going to disagree with me on that. I knew that's just kind of, I have weird taste and I get that. But this guy is more conventionally handsome. I get that. But I still think you're going to have a lot of people, like if you come out and just flat out say, I'm handsome, which seems to be what he's implied right here, or I look good now, you're going to have people get on you about that too. And yes, he's kind of handsome, but he's not a Chang. He's not any kind of Chang in the face department. And three is he's kind of short. I think I'm not sure. He's never given, as far as I know, his actual height, but I believe he's under 5'10". And his physique, again, the work is impressive, but the frame is small, and he doesn't have a lot of muscle mass right now. He's got great definition, but he doesn't have a ton of mass, and he might grow into that later, or I don't know. So there's nothing wrong with him being happy with all that, with what he has, but it takes a lot of guts to, have these things that, I don't know if I want to call them flaws perspective, but real, again, I don't want to call them deficiencies, but I don't know what else to call them. Deficiencies by, today's black pilled standards, and to just put it up there for everybody to look at, and then not only that, but then say, I've succeeded, I have arrived, I have made myself into an attractive guy. When there's going to be tons of people on you about every single one of the things that I mentioned. And you have to have a lot of confidence to be able to put that up, know the kind of feedback you're going to get, and then receive that feedback and not have it bother you at all. So you can call it confidence, you can call it delusion. I don't really know what to call it exactly. But I mean, credit where credit's due, right? Like, I could never have done it. That's for damn sure.
Confidence is not always loud. Men who are confident are usually men who have a lot of experience and knowledge in life, and they're not necessarily the loudest in the room. Hence the saying, confidence is silent, insecurity is loud.
Hence a saying that doesn't exist because I've never heard it. So, confidence is silent, insecurity is loud. I would disagree with that. I think that's often the case. But not necessarily. Generally, the least confident people I've known have been super quiet. Certainly me at my absolute least confident, I was like a total wallflower, really just in a turtle shell. Loudness often can be a way to hide insecurity. I can tell you that firsthand too. But I've seen it as the reverse too. Some people are just so confident that they're confident enough to be loud and obnoxious. So I don't know whether to call this an oversimplification or just incorrect.
Putting in effort into your physical appearance is not a feminine thing.
No, I disagree. I would say it is a more feminine trait. I'm not saying that if you're concerned about appearance that you're feminine. I also think that generally people have a mixture of quote-unquote masculine and quote-unquote feminine traits, and that balance is a good thing. We only dissociate things like, for instance, aggressiveness with masculinity, not because all men are aggressive and all women are passive, but rather because aggressiveness is more common amongst men than it is amongst women. So that's the only reason, but there's nothing inherently masculine or feminine about it. Furthermore, you don't really want to be 100% masculine or 100% feminine. There's just degrees of balance, and it's more of a spectrum. Generally, for instance, when you're talking about facial features, I don't know about what it's like for women, but for men, my understanding is that women like male facial features that are masculine overall, and maybe these days with Zoomers it might be different, but generally like masculine facial features, but they like a touch of like femininity in there. They don't it's not like they necessarily find the most masculine face attractive. In fact, often the most masculine face will just look like a complete ogre. They want like masculinity with a little bit of feminine grace in there. So it's a balancing act. But I would say concern with your appearance is more associated with feminine. I think if you look at the most masculine guys, appearance is not something they're thinking about. In fact, if you look at, for instance, NFL football coaches today, and you look at NFL football coaches from the 1990s, you will notice that the ones from the 90s look much more masculine than the ones from today. And that's because the ones from today don't really look like men. They look like college kids who happen to be 40 years old. They they're much more groomed and have those gym bodies and stuff. Whereas the coaches from the 90s were out of shape, they were slobs, but they just had that kind of raw masculinity. So, and no, I do think it's a feminine trait to think about your appearance, which doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, it is more on the feminine side of things.
It's self-respect, as taking care of yourself is important. Everyone needs to take care of themselves first and focus on themselves.
Again, right, but what exactly is yourself? And if yourself is, if your physical form is not, what yourself is, or not even a true part of yourself, and I think everybody recognizes this, whether they say it or not. Some people will say like, no, physical form is part of myself. It's like, but they kind of all instinctively know that they exist with or without it. And I know that, some people say, well, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in this. Like, yeah, I know, I get that. And I'm not saying you have to change that. I'm just saying that even those people kind of instinctively know that like it's not that their physical form isn't really part of them. It's instinctive. It's not like totally developed, but it's there deep down. So I don't think that so yeah, I'm all for self-respect, but I'm not for increasing a false association, which is inevitably going to lead to more insecurity and less confidence.
Before I continue with this video, here's my story of how I went from this to this. I was always a cute and handsome boy, but I never realized this, or at least...
See, I'm having a little trouble here. I can't tell if he has an accent or he's kind of on the spectrum. So, because that's kind of a weird way to put it. I was always a cute and handsome boy, which makes me think he was born and raised not in the United States. But I'm not sure.
I never cared.
Come in. I can sit you by the fire. Listen.
Okay, not a big fan of the music.
At the age of 16, I got into...
I want to make a quick point, though. Look at those pictures of back when he didn't care, and you can tell, I know they're just pictures, but you can tell looking at the picture, there's no difference in confidence. He's clearly, he's not any more confident than he was back then, and it's possible that maybe he's looking a little bit less confident, but I don't know about that. I could be reading too much into it. But he definitely doesn't look any less confident then than he does now. He seemed totally content and really totally confident. Now, it isn't that kind of aggressive macho confidence. I'll give him that. But I don't see any insecurity in those pictures. He seems perfectly confident to me.
Bodybuilding and started training very seriously and started a dirty bulk.
Jesus, the music. Just want to say something about the whole dirty bulk, clean bulk thing. In my experience, you don't really need to do any kind of bulking per se. I would say, if you track your calories and you're only eating eating 1,000 calories a day or something, then you might want to start stressing to eat a little bit more, but a little bit more. You don't need to be when I was a kid and I was trying to gain weight, I would literally eat 4,000 calories a day. And the only thing that's going to do is get you fat. And so you really don't need to worry about calories. Just worry that you're eating enough. And if you're eating enough and you're, lifting weights, the muscle will come, if the genetics are there, if the genetics and the hormones or whatever are there for you to grow. And if they're not coming, eating more is not going to turn on the switch. Really, it's not that, big guys are big because they eat a lot. It's they eat a lot because they're big. And you can do that with fat and with muscle. So if you add the muscle, you will naturally eat more unless you are like, in a place where food is scarce or something. So you don't have to really stress. Dieting is really a meme, and it's important for health. Dieting is important for health and even for performance. It can even sometimes be important for mental health. However, in terms of building muscle, diet just doesn't really matter, other than for purposes of testosterone maximization and hormone balance. But that's a different issue. But in terms of like raw calories, it's not something you need to stress out about, unless there's something wrong with you that makes you just not eat when you're supposed to. Just this music. All right, we get the idea, buddy.
After 1 year, I achieved my dream body, but I realized I was only 5'5"
Realize should be spelled with a Z, not an S.
inches tall.
What does he mean he realized he was 5 foot inches tall? Like he was like, yeah, I thought I was, 6'3", but then like one day I was like, oh shit, I'm actually 5'5". Like, wouldn't he have already been aware of that?
So I stopped working out because I wanted to focus all my energy on growing taller.
Not sure that's how it works. I don't know if energy on growing taller. I'm not sure. I don't think that stop working out is going to cause you to grow taller. It's not like there's a limited amount of energy, and the energy that goes into building muscles will detract from growing taller. So I'm not totally sure what his game plan was there.
I didn't care about how I looked because all I did was exercise, eat healthy, and sleep. The dream of growing taller was in my mind every single day.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very healthy. Man, it's so tragic how many selfies these Zoomers take.
In my final year of high school, I grew my hair out, just to give it a try.
Okay, not a fan of those last two, like, wannabe K-pop haircuts. You need like those K-pop guys. They've got like the makeup stylist and the plastic surgery to pull it off. Like, I admit it works for them. But it's very few guys in real life is it going to work for.
Looking back, I found out that girls were less attracted to me unless I showed my eyebrows.
Yeah, the eyebrow thing is a black pill thing I've never really understood. I've had a couple people in my comments get on me about my eyebrows, and I mean, to me, I don't. To me, eyebrows just look like eyebrows. I've never. I mean, if you have a strong unibrow, I'll notice it. But other than that, it's not something I've ever noticed on anybody. So I don't know if it's just black pill spurgery or there really is something to it that I'm missing.
In my first year of uni, I was so focused on making money, I did not pay attention to my appearance again.
Well, no disrespect, but you look exactly the same as when you were paying attention to your appearance. What are we trying to prove here?
Until I came across the black pill and understood the concept of halo effect this year.
Yeah, I mean, the grooming really improved it for him. But I mean, I think, and this gets into the black pill stuff. Like, yeah, the true black pill, Eldar, if you're just not a natural Chad, I mean, there's many things wrong with it, but there really is a real possibility for some people to truly improve their looks, and I think he's an example of it. He was a guy who the blue pilled, shower and get a haircut kind of worked for. because, he had enough underlying stuff. And this is all redundant. You guys have heard this all a million times before. So some guys it really does help. And I guess he's being kind of blue-pilled in this sense. He's thinking that, like, everybody can improve. Well, some people don't really have the great hair to work with. They don't have the good forehead. They don't have the at least, decent face. So a lot of people, the grooming isn't going to do anything. I mean, if the underlying skeletal structure is garbage, then, framing the garbage properly with good grooming, it's still just garbage that's well framed. You had some substance to work with. So don't say that everybody's in that same boat.
I could also give an explanation to the many confusion I had during the age of 16.
He can't be from America. He can't be from America because I'm guessing from the way he talks that his IQ is at least 125, probably like 130, and that he wouldn't be making these kind of grammatical mistakes if he had grown up in the United States.
Just by fixing my physical appearance, I could see a huge change in people's reaction towards me.
Yeah, but I don't know if. I mean, that's cool. I'm all for it. Congratulations. But I kind of have to wonder: is it necessarily because you got more handsome, or is it because before you kind of had the, like, sort of stereotypical Asian spurg look, and now you look more like, kind of a normal American? So is it necessary? I mean, I agree that you do look better, but I'm not sure that people are treating you better because you look better. I think that they're treating you better because you look more American. I maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, but that would be my guess, is that had more to do with it.
Here are some of the ways to improve your physical attractiveness, from the easiest to the most advanced. Clothing. Get better clothes.
No, big mistake. Won't do anything. Won't make you any more attractive. And that thing with, like, security. Again, it'll make you more insecure because you'll feel like I'm dependent. You'll feel more dependent on this good styling to make you feel better, which will make you more insecure. I don't really know how to explain it, but I can tell you for sure that that's how it happened. That's how it is. I've never really been huge into fashion except when I was in 6th or 7th grade. And I can tell you then that, trying to dress well definitely made me more insecure.
Clothes can enhance a person's look, and a person can look higher value just by having better clothes. You will also feel better when you wear better clothes.
I wasn't yawning at him. I'm just tired.
A clear, clean face. A healthy-looking face starts with a good, healthy diet. Washing your face regularly and having a good skincare routine can also help. Here is my face skin.
I mean, what he said about the healthy diet is true. I mean, I look so much. I wouldn't say I'm any more handsome when I eat right, but I'd have kind of a glow, like a noticeable glow. And it does, like, having a healthy diet really does make a big difference. Like, people might not notice, but subconsciously they'll notice. It really does make a difference. Would I recommend it? No, because it's not worth it. But that's neither here nor there. Skincare, I don't really know much about it. He's going to about talk into his now. My inclination would be, like, not to really worry about it. I mean, maybe if you're a woman, it's worth worrying about. But for a guy, you're going to be shaving every day, right? So it's going to be really tough to maintain good skin. I think you're better just embracing the not so. I mean, keep your face clean, but I don't think you need to worry about skincare like you were a woman who was wearing makeup and shit, and needed to make sure the makeup wasn't damaging her skin.
Skincare routine. So I start off with a face cleaner. It is in a foam form.
I use that tea stuff, except I use it on my hair.
For that, I use a face exfoliator. And after this, I dry my face.
Somebody in the comments say what an exfoliator is. I'm not going to look it up.
And then I apply a face moisturizing cream. Eyebrows. The eyes.
Okay, well, and what's the point of the face moisturizer? It's supposed to make it look better. I don't get it. Yeah, I would say. I mean, look, if it's something you enjoy and it makes you feel better, do it. My advice would be to not bother about that, to stay away.
Can make or break your look. Consider getting.
That's eye area, you moron, not eyebrows. How can you say you're a black pillar and then cite that meme picture of Tom Cruise with the bad eye area and think it's about the eyebrows? Come on, man.
Eyebrow transplant to reshape your eyebrows or remove eyebrow from a.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really see a difference between the pictures. If anything, I think she looks better in the first picture. So, I mean, she's pretty in both of them. So, what the hell is this picture supposed to prove?
Wanted areas through laser. LASIK. Glasses can be annoying, so if you don't like wearing glasses, you can consider getting LASIK.
Well, yeah, but maybe you should wear, if you are wearing glasses, wear ones that aren't, like, don't look that horrible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with LASIK. I think that LASIK is almost not even a type of Looksmaxxing because it's more a matter of, I don't know, getting the, it's more a matter of, um, um, what it's more a matter of like performance maxing. You know, if you like you said, glasses are annoying, and if you wear glasses, it's a sign of, I guess, of a lack of genetic fitness, or it can be. So I don't know, but the thing is, I think most people, if the glasses he were wearing were really ugly, but if they're attractive glasses, most people look better with glasses. And now, not everybody, not everybody. I mean, again, I think I look better without glasses, but most people look better with glasses, and generally that tends to be a sign of being attractive. You know, you'll notice actually that attractive people, particularly attractive men, not as much with women, look more attractive with glasses. If you ever see Henry Cavill with glasses, he's noticeably more handsome than he is without them.
Body. Get fitter. You will appear healthier and more sexy. Also,
okay. I mean, sexy's a whole can of worms. Let's not even go there. You will appear more healthy. No, I disagree. I disagree. I think if you eat healthy and aren't sedentary, like, you know, at least do some walking. You eat healthy and do some walking. That's what's going to make you look healthy. Lifting weights and cardio, they may or may not have other benefits depending on what we're talking about. It will not make you look healthier. Okay, losing excess fat will. Building excess muscle will not make you look healthier. Okay, it will not. Again, sexy is a whole nother kettle of fish.
Also, being fitter helps you perform better in bed.
Does it really? Does it really? I mean, I think if you have basic health, that's all. I mean, let's be honest here. We're not talking about running a marathon, okay? You know, you just need. I think that would be more about knowing what you're doing and being in good health, than as opposed to. I don't think that being in good condition is going to make your performance in that area noticeably stronger. I mean, we're not talking about training, for a 12-round boxing match here.
Face. The lips play a crucial part of your face. Consider getting lip fillers.
I disagree. I mean, lip fillers for women can help. I think the most noticeable example you'll ever see of that is Kylie Jenner, whose lip fillers turned her from like a 5 to a 9. But I don't think for a guy, I would say it's probably not going to have much of an impact on your face, and it's too easy for it to get fucked up. I mean, you probably don't have access to the surgeons that Kylie Jenner does, unless you live in South Korea.
Height. You can consider getting limb lengthening surgery if your growth plates have closed. Taller men in general look more attractive.
Fair enough. I mean, this guy. I mean, we've got a before and after, and I have to say the guy's SMV almost certainly is higher in the other picture. I mean, what did they raise it by? Looks like he was around 5'11", and now he's 6'1". So they raised it by 2 maybe 2.5 inches. But it's very expensive. The recovery is a year long, and it's generally speaking going to reduce your performance. Furthermore, it isn't really relevant to somebody unless they're more like top heavy already. They already have kind of a long torso. Um, the If you're, I feel like I've noticed this with most shorter guys. It's certainly the case with myself. Um, we're kind of more. I think like I'm like exactly like I don't know like. But basically, often the case with shorter guys is they tend to have, at least that I've noticed, have proportionately longer legs. So making them taller would make them uh, taller still. I mean, it would make them even more unbalanced. So I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea. But having said that, also going to be honest and just say that just your SMV is very largely related to your standing height. So yes, it will increase your SMV. Should you do it? Should you not? That's again, it's a whole different debate. I would say even back when I did care about this shit, don't do it. There's too many risks. There's too many other things to do. It's you're never going to be able to use your legs as effectively again. So don't do it. But if again in terms like let's just stick with the facts and about not about advice or what you should and shouldn't do. The facts is it's going to raise your SMV. Um, for the most part, there's some people might just be in a situation where they're so hopeless it's irrelevant. And it's going to not just that, but it's going to impact the way people view you. People height is even if it's subconscious sometimes, even if it's like I say, you can be scrawny or whatever, scrawny and ugly and whatever, and you'll still be scrawny and ugly if your legs get stretched out 3 inches more. But people are at least subconsciously going to respect. There's something about height that people just respect and has an impact on people. And again, not just from an SMV standpoint. I'm talking about society in general. So I mean, he's right factually. Well, where I disagree with is actually advising people to do it. So I mean, some good stuff was touched on here. I don't know if he himself has done it, but I mean that's pretty extreme, and it just like all we've got ever more ways to improve our SMV, and it's really kind of gross when you think about it. Like like you kind of have to wonder if when you see an attractive girl, especially from Asia, like on Instagram or whatever, if that's even really what she looks like, or it's just plastic surgery, like the K-pop girls and the K-pop guys, um, and I mean I guess it doesn't matter, but it's something kind of like I don't know. For me, knowing that it isn't like natural makes it less attractive, and then not to mention that sometimes it just looks plastic. Although in South Korea they're pretty good at avoiding that. Um, so I don't know. I think it's really unhealthy that people are so concerned with this stuff. I think that people are stressing themselves out. They think they're making themselves happier, but they're actually making themselves more miserable. One of the things you do is Botox and trying to look younger. And I think you'd be a lot happier if you just embraced getting older, not if you did shit like Botox and stuff. And I think you can say that for a lot of look stuff. All right, that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next.